Hey guys, so I told you we're gonna go through a gear list, so we're pulled over here on a little beach that we got set up down the river here. And what I got here is the Ascend H10. The Ascend H10 sold by Bass Pro and Cabela's. They're all both owned by the same folks. This is like a hybrid between a canoe and a kayak. And what this does is it allows you to take in a 10-foot kayak up to 400 pounds of weight. So it lets you pack a lot of gear into a small package. And I want to show you some of the stuff that we decided to bring with us today as we go on this kayaking trip that I got planned for next week. So we're doing 2 days, possibly 3, just depending on how the weather works out for us. So we look like we got a lot of rain coming in next week with the hurricane. So I'm going to show you what we got packed up in here, and you'll be surprised how much gear you can put into a 10-foot kayak. So up front here, you'll notice that Ascend provides these covers. They're not waterproof, but they'll shed some water if you get a little bit on there, and it'll help keep your stuff kind of dry. So up front, you just pull these little straps, these little bungee cords, everything pops out pretty easily. All right, I got a big cooler of water up here, right? I got a small cooler with food in it. And then I got our emergency first aid kit, dry box with a few extra essentials that we might need, lighters and stuff to start a fire and all that good jazz. But this all tucks real nice and neat right up in here. So that way you still got plenty of room, because your feet, I'm 5'9" and a half. I'll take that half when I can get it, all right? I'm 5'9" and 190 pounds, right? And this kayak fits me perfect, all right? But it's adjustable. The seat's adjustable. You can move it back even about 3 more inches than what I have it here. And you can move the foot pegs further forward about another 3 to 4 inches. So you could be 6'5" and still fit into this thing very comfortably. So give me just a second. I'm gonna button this back up. All right. And then we're gonna move back here to the seat. You notice the seat's not like a normal seat. It's not molded into the kayak. It actually pulls all the way out. I could sit it out here on the beach if I wanted to, watch the river go by for the evening, use it as a camp chair. It also comes with 2 side pouches. You'll notice I got an extra paddle over here, but it comes with 2 side pouches. One of these is waterproof, all right? And that's where I got my cell phone, keys, wallet, keep extra flashlights. I also have a Sawyer water filter, okay? And what this lets us do is actually purify river water. I don't know if I want to purify this river water. It's kind of mucky, but I'm sure down in Tennessee where the water is a little bit cleaner and clearer, this will work out great for us. It comes with a bag and everything. It was $20 at Walmart. It's a real good buy, easy investment, and it lets you cut out an entire having to carry your own water. Imagine how much weight that is. What's that, 8 pounds every gallon? So if you bring 2 gallons of water, it's an extra 16 pounds you're bringing, or you're saving, and it's less room that it takes up in the boat. So it gives you more space. So on that side, I got an E-tool and a saw just to, cut any brush or dig a hole if I got to. Behind the seat, I got enough room that I can put my life jacket. I got it all set up and ready to go. I keep a strap on there because if you're kayaking, you want to make sure if you fall out, nothing falls with it, nothing goes out with it. So you can secure this off, right? Secure it off, and that way if the kayak tips over, your life jacket doesn't float down the river. Before we move on, I also bought this paddle when I got this kayak. And this here is, what'd they say, 142 centimeters, right? And it's an Ascend paddle. These got little hooks in it that's supposed to be to help you unhook your lures if you get them caught in a tree or something. I haven't used it for that yet, but I'm sure that probably does work. But what it is really nice, one of the things I don't like about it though, is if you're going through brush and you got lily pads or something else sitting on the top of the water, this will get snagged up in it pretty easy and it ends up pulling it up. But other than that, real good paddle. It's lightweight, right? And these are firm. So every time you take a stroke, it's pulling you along. You don't lose any momentum by the paddle kind of bending. You don't lose that energy. I bought this aftermarket. It's just a Trailblazer paddle holder. It's real easy. It just snaps in there. It's kind of nice when you're cruising down the river like this. This river here is moving at about 4 miles an hour, and if you paddle along, you'll do 5, 6, maybe 7, depending on how hard you're paddling. We don't paddle that hard. We just kind of cruise along with it. So this works out great, though. It really gives you a place to put something. I strongly suggest, if you're going to be out on the river and stuff, bring an extra paddle, because if that one gets broke, gets lost, you roll, or whatever it is, it's nice to have an extra one. And so what I have here is just what you'd expect, like a single canoe paddle, right? And this works great. I've been testing it out today, just cruising down the river, and it's easy, it's small, and it's, you know, and it's lightweight. So it's something that you can just tuck into the boat, and if you need it, you can get it out, and you can 100% use this kayak with one of these. It's not uncomfortable. So I would say with some other sit-in kayaks or sit-on-top kayaks, it would be more difficult to run a paddle like that. But in this, since you're sitting down inside of it, it sits like a canoe, it looks like a canoe, it rides like a canoe, but it maneuvers like a kayak. Don't get me wrong there, though. You're not going to be trying to run any rapids in this thing. You're not going to be able to turn it like that. It takes a little bit more effort. It takes me about 3 good strokes to get myself turned around in the water. So it's not like one of the smaller 9-footers or 8-footers where you can just hit it one time, spin like a top, and then go in the other direction. This doesn't work like that, though. All right, back here, you'll see we got another storage spot, right? So it lets us store more gear, and this is actually larger, not by much, but a little bit. And it'll let us hold a lot more stuff. You'll see back here, I got my raincoat because we're expecting a little bit of rain today. But I also have my clothing bag, right? It's a 20-liter clothing bag. No, this is a 10-liter. This is a 10-liter clothing bag. I just got a few small clothes in it, a towel, stuff like that. Got a tent, right? Little extra protection. I just put a trash bag on it. Lets me use the trash bag for trash later on, but it also keeps my stuff dry until we get ready to camp. And then I have a 30-liter outfitter's bag, and this has got all my camp gear in it, the stuff I want to make sure I keep dry. So my sleeping bag, sleeping pad, I have an extra tarp in here, and I've got all my cookware and everything else that I'm going to need to cook with in here. And this keeps all of that stuff dry for me. But you've seen how easily all of that fit in here. And this is a 30-liter bag and how well that fit in there. So this right here is a camp stove, right? It gives me something to cook on. I can easily just clean it off when we get done, throw it back in the bottom of the boat, and then I can stack everything else on top of it. Real nice and simple, it's real clean, and it lets me put a lot inside the kayak itself, and we can plan long distance trips without having to have a 14-foot canoe or having to haul something that's not compatible with what a lot of people have, right? If you're running an SUV or a short bed truck, it's not reasonable to want to have to go buy a trailer or have to try to load a 14-foot canoe into the back of a truck. Is it possible? Yeah, it is, but it's not as convenient as just getting a 10-foot kayak, and you can just load it in the back and put 400 pounds of weight in it. So anyway, that's all my gear. I got to get everything packed back in there here in just a second, and I thought I'd just run through it and you guys can get an idea of what the Ascend H10 is capable of doing for you. Thanks for your time.